Hello, my name is Kelvin A. Braun. Welcome. This area is an awareness, call, Zoom call, just to help people appreciate that we're going through some serious times here. And basically what we want people to appreciate is that sometimes you got to take control of yourself. You have to go over and aboard to take care of yourself and not just kind of wait for something else to happen when it comes to your own protection. And I'm a personal trainer. I'm also a massage therapist licensed. And so I'm really into the wellness, and I really believe that our body is designed, to take care of itself if you give it what it needs, to fuel itself. For example, we all have computers. We're on our computers now, so what do we do to protect our computers, Conrad?
Give it virus protection.
Exactly. And this is basically what we're going to talk about is, just like, you download antiviral protection for your computer, your body most powerful protector is its immune system. But the problem is that a lot of our immune system is weakened. It's not optimizing the way it's supposed to. So really what we're saying is let food be your medicine. You have to really look at changing the way you eat, putting things into your body that's gonna make yourself stronger and be able to protect yourself from foreign antigens. And there's stuff out there that will help you, but you just have to look at it. You have to take it seriously. You can't just, just do nothing about it. Just live a carefree life, especially in this time. You really got to look at nutrition. Sometimes you got to look at supplements because of our foods. We're not getting foods like we used to get 100 years ago. So there's stuffs out there. Conrad's going to talk about what we do to try to protect ourselves, because all you could do is try. You got to do something for yourself. You can't just sit around and sit in front of this TV and listen to all this negativity. You got to do something that you think that will help you, while this is going on, instead of just sitting around and worrying, because worrying itself is stressful enough. So just sitting in front of the TV, you're stressing yourself out and you're weakening your immune system. So you got to be more positive, try to think outside of the box. If you think you doing the vitamins and everything and that's work for, at least you're trying something. So what we're going to do is try to help you guys appreciate how we feel, what we do to strengthen our immune system. So that's all I'm going to say, because this is just an awareness call, and this is something that we've been doing for a number of years, and we believe it works. Conrad?
All right, thank you, Kelvin. All right, good night, everybody, and thanks everybody for coming on this Zoom tonight. And one of the first things I wanted to do, my little notes right here, let's just take a moment of silence for all our fellow humanity who have passed because of this virus in the last couple of weeks. A couple thousand people have lost their lives because of this dreaded virus. I just wanted to take a moment of silence to honor those people. All right, so what is the purpose of us being here tonight? And why are we so courageous? Is because I was listening to all the news outlets from in January about this potential epidemic that was coming, and all I kept hearing was doom and gloom, doom and gloom, doom and gloom, that we don't have enough of this, we don't have enough of that. And over the last several years, I've learned some stuff from some people, some doctors, some different people that kind of got me thinking, maybe there is hope for us. So I kind of reached out to a couple of my friends and started compiling some information in what I'm going to be sharing tonight, the things we can actually do to help ourselves to boost or strengthen our immune system, which is our first line of defense that is in our body against these types of things. because in reality, they're not probably going to come up with a vaccine for at least another 5 years. If they're lucky, 10 years in more than, that's more reality than the 18 months we're hearing. So tonight we're going to talk about in 4 parts. We'll be talking about what is the coronavirus, but everybody should know that by now. How your immune system actually defends against viral and bacterial infections, which is important. And some general precaution stuff, and then we'll get into the meat of it. How can we boost our immune systems through the coronavirus? So, a strong immune system is our best line of defense against the COVID-19 virus or any virus. I just put that there because this is the one everybody's been worried about and everybody's been talking about, COVID-19. But our strong immune system is our best line of defense against that. So part 1 is what is the coronavirus and the symptoms of infection. I believe all of us should know this by now, right? We've been hearing so much about it. We should almost have PhDs on this, but for clarity's sake, a coronavirus is a large family of viruses that can have a wide range of illnesses, especially in the upper respiratory tracts in mammals and birds. So here are some of the common viruses that we know of. The common cold is a corona type virus. SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome. This happened back in 2002 to 2004. This particular coronavirus actually killed about 8,098 people worldwide. The next one we had in recent times is MERS, the Middle East respiratory syndrome that happened over in Saudi Arabia in the Middle East. That killed not quite as many, but because they contained it pretty quickly, but it could have been really nasty. So now we add one more to this list, all right? At this point, we can add COVID-19 to this list as another coronavirus that is very deadly. And what makes this virus so deadly is the transmission rate. It's not that they can't treat the virus, it's that it is transmitting so fast from person to person that they literally cannot keep up with the amounts of patients that they have. So in part of putting this whole thing together, I started wondering, why they shut down everything, and why is it important to shut down everything? Simply, there's only 100,000 ICU beds in all of the United States, dedicated ICU beds. A doctor friend of mine told me at any given point in time, 65,000 of those beds are already occupied. So that only leaves 35,000 beds nationwide to treat. So if the numbers get out of control, there's no way they could literally treat anybody with this disease. That's what's happening in Italy, right? They don't have enough beds, they don't have enough staff to treat the people. So consequently, we've seen this high death rate in people. So what's the origins of the coronavirus in humans? SARS came from civet cats. And what those things are, is pretty much they're found in Southeast Asia and in Africa. These are like wild animals, leopards, jaguars, lions, things of that nature. So that particular coronavirus came out of, SARS came out of civet cats. The MERS virus came from camels, right? In the Middle East, they ride a lot of camels. Somehow it mutated into human beings, and we had the MERS virus. Now, this particular one that we're dealing with, COVID-19, the jury is not totally out on this one yet. It could be bats, or it could be snakes or pangolin. More than likely, in the DNA research that they've done so far, they found that it has 83 or 89% bat viruses, 2 strains of HIV viruses, and some weird things. So they're still looking at that. They're still looking at that. And there's something interesting that's going on here, because these coronaviruses are zootonic, which simply means that this disease can transfer from animals to humans. And that's becoming very scary, because as we gobble up more and more land space, and these things are intermingling more and more, and some people are eating these strange diets, bat soup and all these different things, we're seeing the zootonic effect of the viruses from those animals are being transferred to human beings. So part 2, how the immune system functions to protect you from infections. Now that's the key thing. This is $1 million question, what they're trying to solve. Whoever solves this first and comes up with the vaccine, they'll be very happy. So how does it do that? Number 1, the immune system is made up of at least the 5 major components. There's about 8 of them, but the 5 major components are the thalamus, lymphatic system, the spleen, probiotics, and the white blood cells. And then when we look at the white blood cells, what we are seeing is you have at least 6 white blood cell types: neutrophils, lymphocytes, monocytes, ephrophils, basophils, and other plasma. So there's a whole bunch more, but these are like the major ones. What I want you to pay attention to is these percentages next to it. These percentages we're going to get into as we go through, that which white blood cells is doing what, and what we can do to help enhance these cells to help us fight off viral infections and viral bacteria. So the incubation period, we know, lasts anywhere between 2 to 14 days, right? If you know you're going to get the bacteria. And we also know some of the symptoms. First is the fever, headache, dry cough. Then they talk about the sore throat and nasal congestion. And then they talk about malaise, shortness of breath, pneumonia. But the dangerous thing about all of this is 0.5 to 2% of the people will get what the medical profession calls superimposed pneumonia. So you're going to have the regular pneumonia, then you're going to have what they call superimposed pneumonia, which is a bacterial pneumonia. And this is what's really starting to take these people out. When they get that secondary pneumonia, that becomes really problematic because again, a shortage of bed, a shortage of staff, not quite sure what types of medicines to use. And if your immune system is not strong enough to help you to overcome this, this is why we're seeing people who are unfortunately passing away, right? So the components of the immune system, we have tissue macrophages is one of the major components of the immune system. Then we have neutrophil invasion. This is one of the components of your immune system. Now, as I'm going down these numbers, this is the order in which your immune system starts to attack viruses and infections in your body, right? If you ever got a cut in your hand or something like that, and then you start to see that little white stuff that's building up around your cut to try and stop the bleeding, well, that's what we call tissue macrophages. And then we have monocyte invasion. Your third line of defense that your immune system uses to help to get these invaders out of your body. And then fourth is to increase the production of your white blood cells by your bone marrow, right? So these 4 things is happening in your immune system to help to stave off and fight off infections and bacteria that we get. So it's not just one thing that your body does, but it's doing 4 things in a layered type of way to help to keep you healthy. This is how our bodies was designed. Now, in part 3 of our presentation is the general precautions to reduce the risk of the coronavirus, right? General precautions that we can take some precautions to reduce the risk. And we all should know this, be able to recite these by now, right? Because some of you have been washing your hands till your hands then turn a different color, like certain people I know, right? So wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds to a minute. Alcohol-based solutions. I wish I had stocks in all those companies just about now. We all know this, right? All of us was raised with this. Number 2, you cover your nose and your mouth when you're sneezing and you're coughing. I find it hard that people wasn't raised to do that, right? So you don't spread your germs, right? Number 3 is avoid close contact with anyone with colds or flu-like symptoms. Now they took that one, part 3, to part 3A, and say, well, they took it closer. Even if they're not showing any flu-like symptoms or cold symptoms, avoid contacts with people because this thing is so contagious that it is jumping from people to people at a very rapid rate. One of the doctors I was researching while I was putting this together is a doctor in the United Kingdom, and he kind of gave a formula. Think about the average person that has the typical normal flu that we get. You might, in the cycle of your flu, infect maybe 3, the most 14 people. With this particular virus, he's saying that because the rate is so high, one person can literally infect 59,000 people. And that's how fast this thing is spreading, right? Because the rate of infection is so crazy, right? It's just jumping from people to people at a high rate. So number 4, cook your meats and eggs thoroughly, right? You know, these people medium there, and I call it raw meat. We need to start cooking our foods thoroughly so that we don't have any zootonics, bacteria jumping to us. And number 5, avoid unprotected contact with wild animals and farm animals. Now, I don't mean, and things like farm animals, like, you know, your pets, like cats and things. Those aren't too bad, but things like, you know, lions and tigers, try not to, I mean, they carry lots of different viruses that they know is not good for us. So these are the general precautions that we should take. And we all know this because they have been beating it to death on all the major networks. Now here comes the part that I guess we're all looking at. How do you boost your immune system against the coronavirus or any virus? The first thing we can do is, and it's an important one, we need to get rest and we need to drink warm liquids. That's very important. I think this lockdown has made a lot of people kind of recover, right? I was talking to one person today. She said, the bags under my eyes are gone. I don't, you know, she's like, I'm looking like myself again, right? That just tells you your body needed rest, right? She's starting to see herself come back to what she's supposed to look like. Now, number 2 is the most important thing any of us can do. I'm going to start here and I'm going to come back to it at the end. Raising your glutathione levels is the most important thing that we can do. Why? Because glutathione is this molecule that's in all of our cells, in every cell, from the crown of our heads to the bottom of our feet. Every cell in our body has this molecule called glutathione. Now, it's so important because glutathione, in layman's term, helps to conduct how vitamins and antioxidants work and move in and through your body, right? If you have no glutathione in your body, you are dead. Now, the problem with this one is, as we get older, for 99% of the people, our bodies produce less glutathione. Problem number 2 is, you can't go to GNC, the Vitamin Shop, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Duane Reade, or any one of these drugstores and buy glutathione supplements and take them. It does not work. The science says it breaks down in your GI tract, so you're basically wasting your money. How you elevate your glutathione levels is your body makes it as it needs it. So keep that in mind. The only way we can get more glutathione in our body is our body makes it as it needs it. So, tissue macrophages. Tissue macrophages is an important line of defense, right? It is the first one that we need to protect ourselves against viruses and bacteria. Remember, we talked about that earlier, right? Our first line of defense that our immune system is going to do is up through tissue macrophages. So what are the nutrients we need? We see it right there. We have to give our bodies vitamin D. That is the second most important nutrient that you can give your body after glutathione. It's not in the same class, but it's very important that you have to give yourselves vitamin D, because vitamin D strengthens that particular white blood cell so that it can do its work. So this tissue macrophages, you can think of it almost like the Marines, right? If there's a war, those are the first guys that are going in, and they're going to do all the grunt, nasty, dirty work to lay foundations for everybody else to come after. Now, here's a problem with vitamin D. Everything you see and buy in the store is not of the same quality, right? You cannot take vitamin D. If you have vitamin D at home, and if you look at the label, if you see it's made from coral or rock or some weird thing you can't pronounce, I would advise you throw it in the trash, right? The best source of vitamin D comes from milk. So if your vitamin D is not derived from a milk-based standpoint, then your vitamin D, you're not getting the correct vitamin Ds that you need. A milk-based vitamin D supplement would almost mimic the vitamin D supplements that we have in our body. So if you were to take the vitamins from your body and put it under the microscope, it would be almost the same thing. The vitamin D calcium supplement would be almost the same thing. And what I would recommend, just looking at the science, I mean, you got some people out here taking 10,000, 20,000 units of vitamin D on a daily basis. To me, you're wasting your money because your body cannot process vitamin that high of a volume. I would recommend 400 to 1,000 as a daily amount you should take, right? And your vitamin D, again, is very important, a milk-based source that mimics the vitamin D that your body naturally has. The second important nutrient for tissue macrophages, which is our first line of defense, would be zinc, right? Zinc is very important to help to strengthen our that first line of defense for our immune system. And you're talking somewhere between 50 to 100 milligrams of zinc in your supplement. So if you're taking a multivitamin, just take a look and see kind of what the numbers are. If it has it, see if you getting enough from your supplements. Now, the neutrophil invasion is our third line, is our second line of defense, right? The neutrophil comes in after tissue macrophages has done its stuff. Then this secondary component of our immune system then kicks in to then go into the area to try and reinforce what tissue macrophages have been doing. Now, here's what we're seeing, right? That number one, we have to avoid sugars and refined base stuff, right? We need to avoid sugars, right? Because the neutrophil are responsible, is a second to boost our neutrophil. We need three important things to boost it. Avoid sugars, refined sugars. Why? Remember when I told you back in the white blood cell category, neutrophil is one of those things. It's 62% of your white blood cells. So it is very important, right? These are like the Army Rangers that's coming in after the Marines have done their work to hold the ground. So these are 62% of your white blood cells. And when you have high amounts of refined sugars in your body, it depletes your neutrophils, the white blood count. It does not reproduce like it should, and now you're leaving yourself susceptible for virus and bacteria to come in and invade your body. Number two is you're going to need vitamin C, which will boost your neutrophils to help your neutrophils when and that particular white blood cell really attacks the inflammation that's going on as your body is being bombarded, right? It is attacking the inflammation. Now, why are a lot of these people having problems breathing, right? This virus is attacking their lungs and it's causing all kind of inflammation and it's causing them to breathe, right? Things are swelling up. Well, the neutrophil invasion helps to reduce the inflammation and the bacterial inflammation that's going on in your body. So that's really important now, right? That we avoid sugars, make sure we're having the right amount of vitamin C's, and the third one is we need to have flavonoid, right? Polyflavonoids. And what are those, right? Some of you probably never heard of these things. Polyflavonoids are nutrients from plant-based foods, right? Nutrients from plant-based foods that we need, right? A lot of us on this thing would tell us that we're nutraceutical consultants, right? We tell people that through nutrition, you can help to preserve or heal or help your body to function at a higher rate. So flavonoids are important in terms of helping your neutrophil invasion stay strong so they can go in and fight off the infection, fight off inflammation so that you don't become bombarded. Now that's critically important. Now let's go to a quick review. Rest warm liquids. The most important one, again, I can't overstate this enough, elevating your glutathione levels is the maestro, the conductor, it's the 5-star general of your body. It's going to tell you, it's going to help the strategy, what your body needs. Vitamin D, zinc, avoid sugars, vitamin C, and now you add in flavonoids, plant-based things, right? To help your body overcome what is going on. Now, the third one, monocyte invasion, right? Now, I don't have anything for that because what the monocyte invasion does in that white blood cells, after tissue macrophages goes and does what it does, the monocyte invasion comes back and helps to resupply tissue macrophages to keep it going to fight the battle. So to strengthen your monocyte invasion, you need vitamin D. So we already have it here, so we don't have to add that aligned for that because our body already has a high grade vitamin D. So it's kind of like a sickler thing, right? As you're taking these things, it's strengthening, and now you have more foot soldiers to come in to help you to perform. You help your body to perform what it needs to fight off viruses and infections to keep you as healthy as you can be. Now, these first three are going, they're doing their things, but as anybody, if you look at any kind of war, you still need resupply, you still need fresh troops, you still need more things and more to help to win the battle, right? This is a war that we're in. So we still need fresh troops to come in. This is where the fourth one comes in, increased production of white blood cells. It's like the draft, right? We need more soldiers. Who's signing up to fight? Let's get trained. Let's get people ready to go. So now we have to get our bodies to increase the white blood cell production. And unfortunately, a lot of the people who are dying, their bodies aren't doing this. That's why the virus is overcoming them and they're succumbing to the viruses, right? They cannot reproduce enough white blood cells, and consequently, they just don't have enough foot soldiers in their bodies to fight the war. So how do we do that? Well, these vitamins help us. Vitamin A helps us to increase our white blood cells, all right? Which is very important in our bone marrow. This is our fourth line of defense. This is our reserves. We have to have a strong reserve system, a well-prepared reserve system to help to come in and fight the battle, sustain whatever tissue macrophages have done and neutrophils have done to help sustain that thing. So we need extra increased white blood cells to do that. Now, vitamin A is critically important for that function, right? Vitamin E is critically important for that function, and vitamin B6. Now, daily amounts varies again, 1,000 units to 2,000 units of vitamin A per day. In vitamin E, it's 800 units per day. Vitamin B6 is 100,000 milligrams per day. These are all important. These are all important. So if you look from number 3 all the way to number 10, those are all important. But remember, I told you earlier, number 2 is the most important thing. Because if you have low glutathione levels, no matter how much vitamins and supplements you take, it's not going to do anything in your body because the army needs a general. The army needs strategy. And glutathione is the 5-star general. It is a strategy maker that tells these things where to go and what to do, what section of your body needs what in your body to keep your body strong. This is why I keep emphasizing that. An elevated glutathione, it is your master antioxidant, they say, right? And you need high amounts of glutathione to make sure that the vitamins work the way they should work, right? I know a lot of people take vitamins and they're still sick, and I'm like, well, your glutathione levels are very low, I can tell you that. So you need to elevate your glutathione levels so that your vitamins can then work at the optimum level they should be working in your body. Now, there's a last one, number 11, and it's called optimizer. Now, why would they put a strange word like that, optimizer? Well, in the last about 10 years or so, in the field of genetics, coming out of Johns Hopkins University down there in Maryland, geneticists have been looking at the DNA, how the DNA works, how all these different things work. So in the last 10 years or so, it's been an exciting discovery about your body. All of our bodies has this gene called the NRF2 gene, right? So now, here we are fighting this war to keep our immune system strong, right? You can get the rest of the liquids, the glutathione, the vitamins and all that stuff, that's all great. But the creator of our bodies has done something else, that in this gene, if you can turn this gene on, this gene then does some amazing things in your body, right? It allows your body to boost the effects of your vitamins and your antioxidants at least by a factor of 3. Let me say that again. If you can turn on this particular gene in your body, you're taking your vitamins, you're getting your rest and all these different things. What if I told you from the research that you can then, doing all that, 3 times the effects of the vitamins, the glutathione, the rest, whatever, in your body to help keep your immune system as strong as it can be, as well protected as it can be, so that when viruses invade your body, you not only have the Marines, you not only have the Air Force, the Navy, and the Coast Guard, or whatever else you need, now you have it in a 3 times effect to help your body to stay as healthy as it can be. Now, this is how you can boost your immune system to fight off COVID-19, not to cure it, but to help protect yourself from getting it if you're around people, or whatever viruses might come up. And this is what bothered me when I was listening to all the news things and nobody was mentioning anything like this. And little by little, this stuff started to come out. There was a particular doctor in Japan who went to Wuhan in November of last year when he was called for help or consultation on this. And his thing was give them enough vitamins and antioxidants and help them. So there was a couple of patients that actually gotten better with that kind of treatment. His thing was give them N-acetylcysteine and some antioxidants, right? And some vitamins. That was his treatment. Give them N-acetylcysteine. For some of you on this, you know that N-acetylcysteine is only the chemical version of glutathione. And then when I saw that, I said, wow, I need to go out and share it with people how they can do this, right? And this is why we're here tonight. So with that said, this is the end of my presentation. And I just want to thank all of you for coming out, spending your time to listen. Hopefully you've learned something. Hopefully it can help you or help some loved one in your family. Now, what I'm talking about here, anybody can take, right? Anybody can take. So for the person who invited you to this Zoom, if you want more information and different things, for me, you can inbox me. I can give you some more information. This is just a quick overview. Just reach back out to that person. They can definitely help you and steer you down some path that you need to go. And at this time, I'm going to open up for 5 minutes for any question. Remember, we're not here. I'm not a doctor. We're not a doctor. I don't know how to treat any disease. That's not my thing, right? I'm just, put some stuff together. So if you have any questions, please ask, and let's be respectful of each other so that we can get some clear answers, because we got some brilliant people on this thing that can help us to steer us down a better path. Thank you and have a good night.